This is going to be a quick video. Before I kind of proceed, I just wanted to point out I found this really cool Jabra headset, which has got Bluetooth capability. It's got 3 microphones in it, and so when I'm teaching remotely, and the students are out of the room, I can get set up with my, basically my PPE, and make sure that I've got my microphone tucked into a spot where it can be heard pretty well. And if the need arises, I can put my face shield down as well, and my microphone untethered, other than maybe some wrinkling with my movement, picks up a little bit of cloth sound. I think that's pretty good sound. I hope it's coming through well. Now that that's settled in, the reason that I wanted to do a pretty quick video is we just finished an educator live stream, and one of the things that was brought up was, how do you watch a video? And it just turns out, or happens, I should say, that this year it's been so important with online remote learners that they understand, how do you watch a video? So here's the thing is I know the students are doing exactly what we're talking about in terms of watching the videos. They don't always watch them the way that we would like to watch them, the way that we know to watch them, because we do this all the time. So especially with the younger grades, I think it's very valuable to go through some tips on how to actually watch a video. And so I put together a little, few slides I use for talking points. They're self-explanatory, I would think. Let me get myself downsized here, just trying to be personable as I do it. I can share the deck with you if you're interested in. The basic principle here is I tell people that there are things that are around you all the time that you might take for granted or never really thought about how to use them. And there's 2 examples here and 2 more examples here. Stuff that people, I think, have encountered, but not necessarily given consideration to why is that there and how can I use it to benefit me. And then I tell them that there's specific things that I want them to understand. Videos aren't just to keep them busy. And that I use videos all the time, and other professionals do too. So this is some of the things I want to make sure that they're attending to. And a key point here is that, if you were live watching this gentleman do the work he's doing here, it would go at a certain pace, start to finish, and some students have a tendency to tune out no matter what is going on when an adult is speaking. So I try to tell them, look, this is the way to make it better for you, okay? Because I mean, as interested and as engaging as any speaker might be, these things are going to help. What I find, and this was deemed laziness, I think it's human nature in a lot of the live stream we just went through, is people don't really pay attention, or they waste time because they're not really paying attention to what's on the screen. So how can they make the most of it? In order to really understand it, here's some things I want to make sure that my students do, and at the risk of being overly granular, make sure they turn on closed captioning, which brings up the captioning right in the middle here. That's I mean, obvious, I think, for most people. But if you're not familiar with closed captioning, that will bring up, and actually sometimes closed captioning has additional languages as well, so keep that in mind. Next point here is this is cool if you're not in full screen, and sometimes you want to see the whole screen. You can turn on something here called Open Transcript. Transcripts are very cool because you can see the name, pardon me, not the name, you can see the text in context of what they have talked about and what they will be talking about. This is also something that can be searched. I think it was maybe a minor point, but nonetheless, for clarity, you can sometimes download a transcript and search it. In fact, if you want to produce content, have the text auto-generate, and then you can actually turn that into a script, clean it up a little bit, and in a second take, I mean, YouTube will turn it into a script for you if you just want to talk off the top of your head, and then your second take could be much better. Just one possible internet speed, but we got a good pipe here where I teach, is to watch it in an appropriate resolution. The higher, the better, generally speaking. People forget about that. They leave it at auto, and they might be missing some quality. This is the one we were all talking about in the live stream. And that is that if you already know what's going on, it's fine to watch it at double speed, perhaps, for many content producers. Sometimes, and by the way, normal is the default right here. Sometimes I end up having to slow things down. This is a very content-rich video. I love it for a lot of reasons. And if you were to be the person who was going through this video live, you might find, wow, I really want to repeat it or go back. So the way to do that is to actually move the playhead back and forth. You can click and drag, And everyone says, well, I know that, I know that, I know that. But do you do it? Do you embrace these opportunities? Just because you know they're there doesn't mean you use them to your benefit. And so I've had to repeat this a few times just to make sure students understand that their time is their time and they're responsible for using it appropriately. And that includes making sure that you are using all of the features of the audio player. Now, I used YouTube here, but you're going to find even in the Unreal Education that there is a variety of player controls very similarly positioned to help you with this. And ultimately, you can get what you want out of a video. Either you'll just watch it or it'll wash over you, or you'll get out of it what you want. And it reminds me of a quote that reading without reflecting would be like eating without digesting. So hopefully there's some food for thought, and students will understand that this is what happens in industry, that a professional game designer is going to not always know, or programmer, or anybody in industry is not going to have all the answers. And sometimes you're going to watch a video. You're going to be digging for a detail. And there's a way to do that that can be taught, that can be understood, and that student can benefit from. So there's a quick summary. The deck's available